Hi everyone, welcome to today's topic lesson. So this afternoon we're going to do some music and this will be our last music lesson this term, as next week we will move on to computing on a Wednesday afternoon. So your first challenge is to write today's date and skill into your catch-up book. So the date is Wednesday the 20th of January 2021 and your skill is to perform and evaluate a piece of music we composed. So you can pause the video now and have a go at that. Okay, well done. So today we are going to finish rehearsing our compositions and then have a go at performing them. So I want you to just take a minute to have a look at your composition, the grid that you did last week. Can you remember what each symbol means? And if not, just double check the key. So you might have drawn it at the top or on the back. So have a look now, pause the video and just double check that you can remember what each thing means. You don't need to rehearse it at the moment, just make sure you remind yourself of what you are doing. Okay, so today you are going to have time to finish your composition if you didn't get a chance to finish it before, and then you are going to have some rehearsal time before we share our work with each other, hopefully. So you don't need to do this now, you can watch the rest of the video so you know what we're doing for today's lesson and then take some time to rehearse and perform, or you can have a go at rehearsing it now if you want to, and then join us after you've had some rehearsal time to talk about performance and evaluation. Entirely up to you how you want to do that. Okay, so what makes a good performance? I'd like you to pause the video and you can talk to your talk partner if you're in school or if you're working with somebody at home and just have a think and a discussion. What makes a good performance? If you're on your own, you can just have a little think. You don't need to write anything down for this one. So pause the video and have a little chat. Okay, so a good performance, I think, is made by having confidence in what you're doing, which comes from making sure you've practiced. So if you practice and practice and practice, then your confidence will be really high because you're confident in knowing what you have to do. Making sure that you focus. So sometimes when we perform, we can get a little bit distracted, maybe by people in the audience or something going on outside. So making sure you're focusing on what you're doing is going to make sure that you have a really good performance. And creativity. Now I know how creative you all are, so I'm sure this won't be difficult for you guys. But making sure that your performance is as creative as it can be. So think about where you're going to perform it, how you're going to perform it, maybe if you're going to perform it with somebody else. So let's have a look at another clip from Stomp. So you should have watched the first clip last week, and they also filmed a video during lockdown, which we're going to have a look at now. And I want you to bear those 4 things in mind about what makes a good performance whilst we watch this clip. Let's hope it loads. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that. So it just some things to think about then is, could you maybe teach your composition to somebody else and maybe perform it together if you've got a sibling at home or an adult that would like to do it with you? Is that another way that you could improve your performance? Maybe you could perform it in the round, so you start at different times, just like in that clip. they all had different elements to play, and it created a different sound to if they all stood and did the same thing at the same time. The other thing I'd like you to think about is, in that video, some of them were inside, some of them were outside. So especially if you're stomping, if that's one of your actions that you chose, one of your body percussion moves that you chose, have a think about where would be the best sound. So would it maybe be on carpet, if you've got carpet at home, or on a hard floor? Would it maybe be somewhere outside for you to, would it make a different sound if you went outside? If you were on grass, if you were on concrete, or maybe if you were out for a walk and there's a drain or something, like a metal surface, would it make a different sound then? Would it make a different sound if you had shoes on, or if you were your socks? Just have a little think about what you'd like to do to make it the best performance that it can be. Obviously, I don't recommend standing on a table or doing anything silly like that. You need to make sure that you're being sensible. And if you are going outside, make sure that you tell your adult and you ask permission to do that. And obviously, if your family members are working, please be mindful that if you're making a lot of noise practicing, that's going to be quite disruptive for them. So make sure that you take the time to double check that it's going to be okay, that you're practicing and making your doing your composition, probably making a lot of noise if they're doing work. Okay. Got an email. So don't forget to film your creations. Once you've finished rehearsing and you've done your performance, please, if you can or if you want to, make sure you film it and send it in to us. We'd love to have a look at what you've been doing. And I know that obviously we can share them on Discord and on the Pinboard pages so that you can all have a look at each other's. That would be fabulous. Okay, so once you have done your performance, whether you filmed it or not, doesn't matter, but once you've thought about your performance and had a go at doing it, we are going to evaluate our own performances. So there are two things that we need to think about when we are evaluating. What went well, and how could it have been even better? So once you've had a go at your performance, I'd like you to talk to your talk partner or talk to whoever's in the house with you, or have a think on your own. Can you answer these two questions? So what do you think went really well in your performance, and what could you have done to make it a bit better? Once you've answered that, you can use these STEM sentences to write into your catch-up book underneath today's skill. One thing that went well, so I am proud of something because, and a little explanation, and one thing that you could have, that could have been even better, so next time I will practice outside because it might make a different sound, for example, into your book, so you've evaluated. So of course you need to do your evaluation after you've done your rehearsal and your performance, just like we would when we're in school. Okay, have a lot of fun with this. I can't wait to see what you come up with. It's going to be really interesting to see each other's, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.